When I was younger, I loved the movie Hairspray. Not the original, the remake with Zac Efron, of course. I used to watch it over and over and over, but there was always one scene where the main character was singing, and she would say, "Until death do us part." And I remember having to cover my ears because if I heard the word death or thought about it, I would start crying. The word death terrified me. But now, the words "do us part" seem scarier. Why do we have to part? Why do I have to be separated from any of my loved ones? As high school graduation gets closer, this is a fear that I'm going to have to conquer. I will be leaving behind everything and everyone that I have ever known. Almost 2 decades of life will need to be packed into 2 suitcases. 2 suitcases. How are they supposed to carry all the memories, people, and moments encountered in 17 years of life on this island? How does someone choose what goes in the suitcases and what stays behind? As a child, I would create elaborate plans on things that I wanted to collect. I always imagined that I would catch a cloud in a jar. I would climb a mountain or jump out of an airplane, and with me would be a jar that I would open at the perfect moment and capture a cloud. I would shut the lid tightly, take it home with me, and it would be mine. Like most childhood dreams, I realized it was impossible. Clouds are water, either in liquid or ice form, and putting one in a jar would only result in condensation and an empty jar. Now I feel like I have been given an empty jar, and it is my job to fill it with everything meaningful in my life. What happens if I don't fill my life with meaningful experiences? What happens after the clouds disappear? In my research, I found a quote by an unknown author, and it reads, "I live for 2 reasons. 1, I was born. 2, I haven't died yet." This fear of things disappearing has haunted me my entire life because I was afraid to die with an empty jar. It has taken me a long time, but I now believe that my fear of death is less about dying and more about living. I'm afraid that I won't do a good job. I'm afraid that my life won't matter. I'm afraid that I'm going to continue to be afraid for the rest of my life. I'm not afraid to die. I'm afraid to live. So, rather than trying to make sense of death, how about trying to make sense of life? How do I make myself live life? Well, when I'm stressed, I like to make lists. They help me when I'm feeling overwhelmed, and this was no exception. I decided to make a list. They create order, they organize, and ultimately help the writer accomplish their goals. Plus, any of you who know me know that I love making lists. And all good list makers know that a list is incomplete without a good title. May I present 101 things I want to do before I graduate. With everything a possibility, the idea of making a list of 101 things to do seemed easy. It was only until I got stuck on number 30-something that I realized making a list that would transform me would not be that simple. Who did I want to become? To answer this, I focus on 5 areas: transitions, service, fun, life skills, and self-improvement. These 5 areas represent the values that are currently in my life. And by the end of it, I had a beautiful, purposeful, and, dare I say it, meaningful list. Here are a few of my favorites. Happiness matters, the gift of happiness. To make someone laugh, smile, feel happy, it doesn't only make their day, but also yours. This didn't have to be a deep journey or hours spent talking, but perhaps giving the gift of happiness, a simple joke every day. Number 12, put a joke on Kyle's desk every day for 2 weeks. There are 3 kinds of people in this world: those who can count and those who can't. Sound familiar? Why do teenagers always walk in groups of 3? Because they can't even. This idea was a random one. It was silly and funny and easy. I wrote out 2 weeks worth of math jokes, some of which were pretty hilarious, every morning and put them on Kyle's desk without him seeing. Despite lying to his face when he asked if it was me, I thought that this simple gesture would improve his day just a little. Whoops. Nope, go back. The button's not, okay. Sorry. Making somebody else happy was something that I considered service. But I also knew that to make myself happy, I needed to practice gratitude. Being grateful creates empathy. Gratitude creates awareness. It is only when we are aware of what we have that we feel okay letting things go. Now, I didn't know that when I shifted my focus from all that I was losing, would I realize just how much I have. We talk about gratitude a lot, but the idea of actually intentionally giving gratitude was a game changer. Number 55, say 3 things I'm grateful for every day. Before I go to bed, every night, I say 3 things that I'm grateful for that day, and it has absolutely changed my life. I started this in January, and I'm not sure when the shift happened, but I am a much more grateful person because of this exercise. I've started to notice the little things in life, and yes, I'm still guilty of being ungrateful. I still complain when my food takes too long at a restaurant or when I'm sitting in traffic, but I'm aware of it now, and that is what matters. Transition is a change in state from one to the other. Some are unavoidable, from grade to grade, from birthday to birthday. There are some that society imposes, maturity, adulthood, and then there are those that you have within yourself, ones that take you from your current state to a new one. Number 26, shave my head. This one was written a long time ago. It started as a dream, a goal to achieve, something to collect, to cross off the list. It started as a curiosity. What would my head look like without hair? This question was replaced with a need to let go, to not carry the history of my hair, to remove all the moments that it had been involved with. The instant feeling was fantastic, a feeling of lightness and freedom, seeing myself in a new and different way. I chose this transition, and I would choose it again. The list was in full progress, and everything seemed to have some deep or hidden meaning. I wanted to ensure some were just for the joy of living, the fun ones, the just 'cause ones. Thinking of fun things was harder than I thought. Most fun is called fun in hindsight. It is the unexpected moments of joy. For example, number 18, learn the alphabet backwards. Number 98, go mini golfing. And number 13, get a dog. That one kind of backfired. Turns out I don't really like owning dogs, and they cause quite a kerfuffle. Fun can often feel fleeting, or the aftermath not so fun. I wanted some part of fun to take with me, something that would be a part of me. And sometimes your dreams happen exactly as you imagined, and sometimes not. I always wanted a cloud in a jar, and even though it's impossible, and it's not my fault that it's impossible, the want had not disappeared. So how can I take something that I know I want, something fun, and do it just 'cause? Number 28, get a tattoo. Clouds in a jar. I did it. I put a cloud in a jar, and they are mine. This list, broken down into 5 categories, gave structure, meaning, and purpose to my last year of high school. Lincoln said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. The future that you want is in your control, and you can make it happen. I felt that this list would allow me to live life to its fullest, but did it? If I'm just ticking off boxes and trying to get things done, aren't I just ignoring the journey and going straight to the destination? This list was a great idea, she said very modestly. The intention was brilliant, but soon it became a chore, a race to not only complete the activities, but get the list done. Would I have done these things anyways? Have I missed out on things because I was so focused on the list? Did they prevent me from living in the moment? Do I really have control over all the changes that are happening right now? Some things on the list created control. Number 31, write goodbye cards. Number 61, create a summer calendar. Number 36, commit to a college. Some of these things really needed to get done. Others were written to help appreciate all that is here. The aim of the list was to make the most of my last year in Bali and to be intentional with my time and experiences. Not only that, but the life I want to live. Who do we each want to be? And isn't that a question worth exploring? I have been gifted this beautiful life, and I don't want to waste it. I don't want to get to the end of it and have regrets. A teacher told me, if you live a good life when you're younger, you get to relive it when you're old. And that is what I want. These jars full of memories, not necessarily things, but the good, the bad, and the ugly. To be open to all that life offers means not being afraid. To say, hello world, I'm here, what have you got? But the question I still don't have the answer to is, what have I got? Now, I know that a list might not give me that answer, but going and living and experiencing will get me closer to it. As Arthur Miller says, maybe all one can do is hope to end up with the right regrets. The fear of dying should not be greater than the joy of living. And living fully requires understanding oneself and being intentional about the person that you want to become. I've got my jars, and I don't want to fill them. I want to save room for everything that comes next. But there is one more thing to put in it. Number 101, present my Greenstone. Thank you.